What's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Gimme presented by BetMGM. Why the Gimme? You guys know why. Because it's good. Usually, I start out the show by saying we're less than 12 hours away from the first tee time of whatever event it is. Now, this time, we're less than 5 hours away from first tee time for the 149th Open Championship at Royal St. George's. Can't wait for this thing to get underway. I'm Jason Sobel from Golf Bet. She is Amanda Rose. He is Justin Ray. Coming up on the show, our perfect portfolios. We're going to spin the betting wheel as we always do, and we're going to give you our favorite long shots because, quite frankly, long shots have paid off at Royal St. George's in the past. Plus, we've got a couple of great giveaways from Cobra Puma Golf. Too much to even mention. These giveaways are so good, so you want to stay tuned for that. But first, guys, what's going on? How fired up are you? Amanda, what was the first bet that you made this week?
So the first bet, I'm good, thank you. How are you? The first bet I made was a Louis Oosthuizen top 10. I'm going to talk about that in my perfect portfolio, but that was the very first bet I made this week.
I like that one. Why wouldn't you like Louis for a top 10 in a major championship, Jay Ray?
No kidding. Bet against Louis at the majors at your own peril at this point, right? First bet I made was an Ian Poulter top 20, inspired by that final round 63 he shot at the Scottish Open, his lowest final round worldwide in 15 years. A little hit or miss at the Open in recent years, but since 2012, he does have 3 top 15 finishes. I like the value there for a top 20 for the English veteran.
I mentioned long shots have paid off here, but there are a couple of favorites that I do like this week, and BetMGM has some really cool specials. Rory McIlroy and Jordan Spieth to both finish in the top 5 this week. I've got them in the top 5 of my ranking, so why wouldn't I take it at 22-1? I feel like that's a really good number, so I am betting that one as well. Speaking of BetMGM, they've got their Gimme prop. Yes, they named it right after us. I can't believe it, so we've got to talk about it. Any English player to win. It's coming home, maybe. It was plus 650. It's been boosted to plus 850. Pretty good number. My favorite player to win this week is Lee Westwood. I have him atop my rankings at the Action Network. So I kind of like that play, plus 850 for an English player this week. Jay Ray, you buying that one?
I'm kind of on the fence. 850, I could see some value. Tyrrell Hatton is probably England's best hope from an analytical perspective, but he hasn't really played great in the major championships the last couple of years. Has had a couple of nice finishes at the Open. So 850, I might take that with guys like Fitzpatrick, Westwood, and Hatton as possibilities.
Come on, it's a gimme prop. They named it after us. You have to do it.
Oh, then I got to take it. Yeah, you're right.
Amanda, what are you doing? You like it?
You know what? I'm not going to take that one. I like it, but I'm going to give you an Englishman prop from BetMGM that I like even better. Matt Wallace, top 5 GB&I finisher, plus 320. Now, that's an English bet I like.
Okay, I like that one. Like I said, a lot of good specials at BetMGM this week. Let's take a look at the top of the board this week at BetMGM. Jon Rahm, of course, the favorite. I don't know if I'd call him the prohibitive favorite, but he is a pretty big favorite this week at 8-1, coming off his first major championship victory last month at Torrey Pines for the U.S. Open. Brooks Koepka and Xander Schauffele, the major assassins, guys that show up for these 4 events every single time. They're both 16-1. Jordan Spieth, who sounds very confident this week, he is 18-1. Justin Thomas, Rory McIlroy, maybe 2 trains heading in different directions right now, but they're both 20-1 going into this one. Let's get to our perfect portfolios. We do it every week here on the show, and apologies, they were a bit imperfect last week. You see our records up there. Hey, we own that, but much like Brooks, much like Xander, we want to peak 4 times a year. We show up for the major championships. So let's find you some winners this week. Amanda, where are you going with your portfolio?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, Louis Oosthuizen top 10. He has 2 runner-up finishes in majors this season, 10 top 10 finishes in majors since 2010 when he won at St. Andrews. That was the second major he'd ever even made the cut in. The last major he made the cut in was like the PGA in 2009 and finished for like 73rd. So he went on to win at St. Andrews, only the second major he made a cut in. So he has been on such a whirlwind since then in a good way. So he's an elite ball striker. He's won an Open before. He's perfect for the majors. So I love Louis Oosthuizen top 10 all the way. I would actually bet him 10, 20, 30, 40 if you can. And then Jon Rahm for a top 10 also. I mean, he's coming off the U.S. Open win. Last week in Scotland was his very first time starting since he won the U.S. Open. He came out and played so well. I mean, you wouldn't even know that he's coming off of a major win because, you know, guys usually come out and start and it's not so great. But he did. He played great. he finished 7th last week, so I can't fade him this week. I love him. I'm gonna give you two top 20 plays. I got Lucas Herbert. I mean, he's been playing a lot on the PGA Tour this year. He's been playing really well. 2 weeks ago in Ireland, he won. Top 10 finish last week in Scotland. I mean, he's probably the hottest links player right now coming to this event, so I really like him. Another guy who just lost in a playoff last week, Matt Fitz. Okay. You guys know I love him. I've been so on this guy since January. I just love his game around links courses. And I know, Justin, you said that Terrell was probably England's best hope, but I think it's Fitzy.
I can buy that. I don't mind Fitz as well. I'm going to start with my guy who I think is England's best hope. I mentioned that I really like Lee Westwood this week. He can set the all-time record for most major championship appearances without a victory this week, or he can make a little history and become maybe as popular a winner at the Open Championship as Phil Mickelson was at Kiowa 2 months ago. And I'm taking Westwood here for a top 5, but yes, I've got outrights on him as well this week. Christian Bezwedenhout. I'm trying to get it right. I'm working on it. It comes out different every time I say it. I'm sorry, Christian. I love your game, though. Look, he was top 5 going into the final round of the PGA Championship, shot a 77, finished outside the top 30. He was top 10 going into the final round of the U.S. Open, shot 76, finished way back. Now, I know a lot of people would look at that and say, well, he must not be that good in final rounds of the major championships. I say it's all part of the experience, all part of the learning process. I like Christian Bez for a top 10 this week. Top 20, Jason Day. I know a lot of people have forgotten about the former world number 1, down to 68th in the world right now, but I'm taking him for a top 20. I just think getting away from the U.S., just being away from things. And oh, by the way, a 10th and 14th place finish in his last 2 starts. I think he's trending in the right direction. We know he's got the talent. And Amanda, you mentioned Matt Wallace. He's on my radar as well. A top 30 play for him in my portfolio. J. Ray?
So I'm going to go, it's our last major until April, right? I got to give you an outright. So I'm going to give you my favorite outright to win. Xander Schauffele has finished in the top 10 in more than half of his career major championship starts. He's ranked in the top 4 in virtually every scoring statistic at the majors since 2017. But what I really like is this really strong links golf profile he's been putting together throughout his career, gaining 1.8 strokes gained total per round in his career on links-style golf courses, an exceptional number. Oh, by the way, he appears to have ditched the arm lock putting method that really kind of held him back at Torrey Pines. He's my favorite outright play. I'm going to have a ticket on him to win. Next up, Jordan Spieth, another guy who's had an exceptional career on links-style golf courses. Of course, won the Open Championship 4 years ago, was 1 shot out of a playoff at St. Andrews 6 years ago. He's gained 2 full strokes per round on the field on links-style golf courses since 2010 among players with 20 or more rounds. That is the absolute best of any player. Oh, by the way, 9 top 20s in his last 11 starts. It feels like the Jordan Spieth momentum train. We thought the destination was Augusta, Georgia. Maybe all along the destination was Sandwich, England, and this is the week he has a big week. I've got him to top 10. The next guy I've got to top 10 is the only player to finish in the top 10 at the 2018 and 2019 Open Championships, Mr. Tony Finau. I know he hasn't played terrific golf recently, but he's another guy who's got that really stout links golf profile, some really good career numbers on links style courses. And I mentioned he's the only guy to top 10 the last 2 Opens. I've got him for a top 10 finish. And my last guy, a wily veteran, grew up in West Texas, Amarillo zone. Ryan Palmer was not scared to go over and play links golf last week at the Scottish Open. But it's just 1 shot out of a playoff. I think he's got tremendous value to top 20. And look, I know I'm the analytics guy. I'm not the narrative storytelling guy per se. But a guy he has to have been inspired a little bit by some of his contemporaries in terms of age and their success this year. Whether it's Stuart Sink, Lucas Glover last week at the John Deere, or Phil Mickelson winning the PGA Championship earlier this year. I think there's something to be said for that. Give me Ryan Palmer to top 20.
By the way, J. Ray's data analysis was referred to as hot and sexy on SiriusXM PGA Tour earlier today. And also, he comes from a place of knowledge. Check out his great dissertation on PGAtour.com of the best links players that's out there this week, and a really good insight as to which players play better on this type of course. Let's talk about Royal St. George's. Less than 7,200 yards, but the length isn't going to really matter. Brooks Koepka says, quote unquote, it's nothing exciting. Well, it might not be, but it's going to be really tough. We've seen some long shots in the past. I mentioned it earlier. Darren Clark in 2011 was 150 to 1 pre-tournament. Ben Curtis back in 2003, he was I've seen 300 to 1. I've seen 500 to 1. I don't know. I still have yet to see anyone that actually had a Ben Curtis ticket pre-tournament. If you had it, contact us. I would love to hear that story. But in any case, it's worth playing some long shots. Let's get to our favorite long shots. Amanda, where are you going with yours?
So this feels weird saying a long shot, but if this isn't a long shot this week, I promise. I'm going to go with Billy Horschel. I think it was around 125 to 1. He played decently in Scotland last week. He's already won this year, and he kind of like, he's one of those players that shows up when you least expect him. Like when he's not on anyone's radar, it's like, oh, Billy Horschel's, going to top 10 or something. So I just think he's a really good guy to like come out of nowhere and do something big this week. Not necessarily win, but I think he's going to have a good week.
Go Gators.
Well, yeah, but other than that.
Could be. And remember, Billy Horschel, he went over to Wentworth last year, one of the few Americans who did. Last year, 2 years ago, and played really well. So that's a good call. My long shot is Kevin Kisner. He had a really dismal stretch of golf in the spring, but he's finished in the top 10 in each of his last 2 starts. He contended throughout the week at Carnoustie in 2018, ultimately finished tied for second. Just still a super elite putter, one of the best in the world. That makes me feel like if you're in, everyone's going to be in some bad, tight spots this week. You're going to miss screens. You're going to need to scramble. He can lean on that putter to save a few pars when needed. So Kevin Kisner's my long shot.
I'm going deep for mine. South African Justin Harding is 300 to 1 this week. Now, I don't know that Justin Harding is going to win this golf tournament, but for top 5s, top 10s, top 20s, why not? I think there's going to be some randomness on the leaderboard this week. He's got 7 top 25s in his last 12 starts. The guy's playing some really good golf under the radar. He's undervalued in the marketplace, in the DFS betting space. So I think Justin Harding could be a nice long shot play this week. Speaking of DFS, let's
get off at 1:46 a.m. Eastern on the East Coast. I don't know if
I'll be ready for that. Hey, by the way, guys, what's your sleeping schedule, your strategy this week? Guys, personally, I front loaded. I slept as much as I could Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, and now it's just 96 straight hours. I'm staying up. Lots of coffee.
I'll go first. You guys know I've got a 2-month-old, so sleep not exactly high on the list here at the Ray house right now, but I was able to front load a little bit. I set my alarm. It's a tradition. If you're stuck in the U.S., you're not fortunate enough to go over to the Open like I have been, 3:30 a.m. That's when the alarm's going off here in Austin, Texas.
What you got, Amanda?
I function on GMT or BST as it is right now. So this is a really exciting week for me because I'm usually up around 5 a.m., fall asleep around 8 p.m. And usually between the hours of 5 a.m. and like 7 a.m., I'm talking to my friends in the UK. So this is like perfect for me. Congratulations. You guys get to see what it looks like before the sun comes up. It's really nice. The birds start chirping around 5:10. But you're going to have a lot of fun. I'm really excited for everyone.
Congratulations, Grandma Rose. I'm glad we're finally on your schedule.
You know,
and you can hit the early bird special before
my
after
Grandma
they're done.
Rose. What?
Good. Thank you for that tidbit. Did not know that.
Yeah, Grandma Rose. That's where I got my middle name. It was Grandma Rose. So
there you go.
Grandma Rose. She says thank you from beyond the grave.
I appreciate that. I'd like some picks as well from her, but ultimate DFS lineup. Let's get to it every week. We do this on the Action Network podcast. And of course, check out all the models and tools on Fantasy Labs, and the optimizer, of course, is always great. Saves a ton of time. All right, let's get right to it. First pick. Let's see. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Amanda.
Wait, really? That's exciting. So here's a guy that I can't really mention without mentioning one of my good friends, fellow Gator, Sam Horsfield. If it weren't for Sam Horsfield, this guy, Thomas Detry, would have 2 wins to his name last summer. He doesn't because of Sam. Sorry, Thomas, but like, obviously I'm partial to Sam. And he was another guy that lost in that playoff in Scotland. He's so close to breaking through. Like, I can usually depend on him for a top 20, top 10 bet on the European tour. He's really consistent. He's not going to be a high owned guy. I mean, you look at different, you're getting a good price on him. He's not going to be that high owned. These are the type of courses that he's really familiar with playing on the European tour. They play a number of link style courses. So I really like Thomas Detry this week to start our lineup.
Jay Ray.
Good. I like it. I have a question. Who priced Sam Burns at 6,300? What are we doing? Was it
algorithm is broken?
As my Action Network podcast colleague Jason Sobel said, someone forgot to carry a 2 in the algorithm or something.
Just like when Bryson's team tweeted Sam's like thing. Remember the social media at the gaff? They tweeted the wrong. That's why they just don't know who's who.
Well, whatever it is, take advantage of the value there, because a guy who's basically led more rounds on the PGA Tour than anybody this season, is 6,300. I have to take him. Top 20 finishes in each of his last 2 starts. So it's not like he's playing poorly. That includes last week at the Scottish Open. And now we've got a ton of money to spend on some big dogs because Sam Burns is only 6,300.
Yeah, I love it. My only problem is I'm worried that Sam Burns is going to be like 92% owned this week, and we're all just going to be basically playing 5-man lineups with Burns in there. All right, guys, so far we're playing chess, not checkers. I mean, we're all just kind of like not spending too much, and I'm going to be with you guys. I'm going low. I've mentioned Lee Westwood's name a few times. I think that this tournament could come down to experience, intelligence, guile, patience, things that Lee Westwood can do as well as anybody. This is not a Bryson DeChambeau bash fest. This is not hit it 380 and go find it again. So I think Lee Westwood is a guy that also could have a little karma and magic on his side this week at 7,500. I'm playing a lot of Westwood, and now we've got a lot of money to spend, Amanda.
Yeah, so I've decided, I guess, to complete 2/3 of the playoff from the Scottish Open, which I didn't realize I did, like when I picked my players, because there's a little bit of time between when we pick them. So I'm going with Fitz. Like I said, he's playing really well. He plays links golf really well. I just like where his game is, and he just isn't always one of the higher owned guys. So I like him this week. He's an English guy that you guys aren't mentioning, and he just lost in a playoff. So I think he's being overlooked a lot this week, and I think that's exactly where I want him.
Recency bias for the win.
I've been biased to him since January.
And yeah, no one's gonna harp on Amanda for picking Fitz because she's on that guy all the time. Great price, 7,900 for Fitzpatrick. I think is really low, especially considering coming off that runner-up finish last week. Okay, now I'm gonna break out the checkbook, and I'm taking my favorite outright play, Xander Schauffele, 10,000, pretty good price. I don't think that's too expensive, and we've got the money to spend, so why not? Going back to that links analysis I mentioned earlier, there are only 6 players to have a differential of 5% or better in both greens in regulation and scrambling on link style courses since 2010. Xander Schauffele is one of them. He's my favorite pick to win outright. I think we've got to take him here.
Well, you're leaving me still with a whole lot of money to spend, and I'm going to spend it. Rory McIlroy has finished in the top 5 of this event in 4 of the last 5 years. They've held it. The only time he didn't was 2 years ago at Royal Portrush, where I still don't know if it was nerves, if it was anxiety, but
the 7 off the
started with an OB tee shot and
one of the most confounding days of golf.
I didn't even know it was out of bounds. I literally had put on Instagram, I'm like, here's the inbounds, here's the out of bounds, and the players like somehow didn't know.
Yeah.
I had like a media person knew.
In any case, other than that, Rory has been nails at the Open Championship and sounds more confident. Said he something clicked for him this past weekend. He's starting to get it. We know that he's been working with Pete Cowan, the noted instructor, for a few months now. So if he says something is clicking for him, I tend to buy it because Rory doesn't have a dishonest bone in his body. He doesn't have what it takes to put on a show in front of the microphones and cameras. So there's our lineup: Detry, Burns, Westwood, Fitzpatrick, Schauffele, and Rory McIlroy. Ship it. I like that one. All right, guys, it is time to spin the betting wheel as we do every single week. We've got 6 players on the wheel. None of them have ever won a major championship. They're all going for their first. Xander Schauffele, Lee Westwood, couple names we just mentioned, Victor Hovland, Tyrrell Hatton, Tony Finau, and Patrick Cantlay. Our super producer, Evan Abrams, here to spin the wheel. What's going on, Ev?
Yeah, that's actually in my resume. It says super next to producer on everything I do. So I really appreciate that. Now, listen, I was just going to ask, what are we eating tonight? So I'm thinking beans and like bacon and some coffee or something like that. Something for the, I don't know.
Just fish and chips, maybe?
Yeah, fish and chips. That sounds about right. All right, well, for now, what do you got, Amanda? You have something? What's up? No,
I'm just talking to myself.
Fish and chips sounds good, man.
Yeah, I got along.
Sounds right. All right, let's spin the wheel. Let's do it. First off, what do we got here? All right, it's Victor Hovland. Justin, what are you thinking about Hovland?
So I think there hasn't been enough discussion about Victor coming into this week. Maybe it's because we haven't seen him play this type of golf a whole lot. But the guy won his last start, and he's one of the best iron players on the planet. He's intriguing to me. I'm not sure that this is the week he breaks through to win. I know that he claims he sucks at chipping. I know that. But he's actually positive in strokes gained around the green this season, which I think might surprise some people to hear. I won't take him to win, but if you've got a top 10 or a top 5 ticket on Victor Hovland, I'm not mad at that.
I like that.
All right, top of the board, but not, not everything he wants, not the no major. All right, so let's spin the wheel again. Let's see what we got here. Number 2, Tony Finau. Let's pull him back right now and add the shade, and let's give him to Amanda. What is Tony Finau going to do this week?
So I'm going to give you my favorite Tony Finau bet every time Tony Finau tees it up. We're going top 5, top 10, top 20, top 30, top 40. Put the house on those. Like, I'm telling you, I just don't think he's going to win this week. And it's nothing personal. I don't think that St. George's is really going to set up that well for him. Like, you have to just hit the ball perfectly, put it in the perfect spots. Like, he's a long player. He's not like a position player. So I don't know. I don't love Tony, but I do like 5, 10, 20, 30, 40.
Just not one.
Justin's been spewing stats all week. No, I'm going to speak for you, Justin. You've been spewing stats all week in favor of Tony Finau on links golf courses. I get it. He's played well at the Open in the past. I'm still not buying it. He's missed the cut in his last 2 starts. I just don't think Tony Finau is a links type player. Stats be damned, results be damned.
Okay.
Watch us both be wrong.
All I can do is give you the numbers.
Still to die on.
I don't like your numbers.
Fine.
Forge them.
Unnerve me.
Make them be what we need them to be.
Numbers are still hot and sexy, but I'm not hot and sexy with that play right there.
You're damn right they are.
Talking about
It's a top 5. It's a top 5 or a miscut. That's how you play that. All right, let's spin the wheel one more time. Let's see what we get here. Last one up. It's Patrick Cantlay. Jason Cantlay, what are you doing?
I feel the same way about Cantlay that I do about Tony Finau. I just haven't seen him enough on links golf courses. I understand that he was T12 at the Open back in 2018. That's nice, but until I see more from Patrick Cantlay, and again, I don't know that it necessarily makes sense. He's been playing well. He's in form. He's second on the PGA Tour in scrambling this year, and I think scrambling is going to be a very big stat this week, and yet both he and Webb Simpson, who's number 1 in scrambling, really aren't on my radar this week. So I'm selling Cantlay. I don't have a great reason why other than just I don't think his game is really built for links golf. But without having a better reason, that's probably going to burn me in the end by the time Sunday afternoon comes around.
Got it. So nobody on the wheel is going to win this week. Everyone will stay without a major. Just a sad show.
No,
I just didn't hit my favorite outright.
Lee Westwood. Yeah, there you go.
I got Sander. I've been talking about this for 20 minutes.
That is okay. I'm actually going to go away now. I was just looking at the people we chose.
Get out of here.
No,
right. You're right. You are.
Just regular old producer, Evan Abrams. Thanks for joining us. He just lost the super.
Yeah.
All right. Guys, nothing better than winning before the week even starts. We've got a couple of winners right now ready to do our 2 big giveaways. I know a lot of people are sitting there at home in front of their laptops, in front of their phones like, come on, pick me. Cobra Puma Golf really stepped up this week. Our winner from Twitter, which is a LE Radspeed driver and head-to-toe look from the Moving Day collection. From Twitter, the winner is Curtis D. Goff. Oh, I like that last name, Goff. He is our winner from Twitter. That's going to be a nice package coming into the mail for you pretty soon. That's a really good giveaway there. And then from Facebook, the LE Pro Adapt Delta Moving Day sneakers. I need a pair of these. These things look really cool. Our winner from Facebook is Joel Johnson. Congratulations to Joel Johnson. Guys, you guys have won before the tournament ever started. I have never had that happen to me, but congratulations to both of you. Guys, just 1 minute left here of the show. We've been moving through this thing. We haven't done our first round leader bets, though, and some of our favorite plays are FRL. So, Justin, where are you going with yours for Thursday early morning FRL?
I started the show with this name. I'll end with it, too. Ian Poulter closed last week with a 63 at the Scottish Open. Let's say he keeps that putter hot. I like him at that price he's got for a first-round leader bet.
Amanda.
All right, I keep giving you Fitz, and I keep giving you Cam Smith. I love Cam Smith. His first round scoring average on the PGA Tour is just over 69. He's so good. He's good on these courses. Top 20 finish along with Fitz at Portrush 2 years ago. So I got Cam Smith. What about you, Jason?
Quick story. Back in 2011, 10 years ago, I was at Sandwich, England at Royal St. George's covering the event there. I walked into a local Ladbrokes and I said, I want to place a first round leader bet. And it's usually a good story, a feel good story. And so I said, I like that guy, right? Darren Clark's got a big price next to his name. I'm taking Darren Clark, first round leader. Well, he shot 68 that day. He was 3 back of the first round lead. So a little mini sweat for me that week. Okay, I can't be too mad at him. He played pretty well. Darren Clark that week, of course, was second round leader, third round leader, and the winner after 4 rounds. Thanks, DC. Really appreciate it.
I like that story so much more. I thought you were just going to spike the football about getting a first round leader bet right, but
I did too.
So much more enjoyable as it progressed.
No, my love-hate relationship with first-round leader bets might have been born that week, and I trust me, I don't remember a whole lot of my bets. I remember that one though. That one stung for a while. So this week I'm sticking with the same theory. It's usually a good feel-good story. Ricky Fowler is mounting a little comeback. He started playing better. It's gradual. I said to Ricky 2 months ago at Kiowa, I really like you for the Open this year. Ricky did not disagree with me. He said, I played well there back in 11. He was T5, in fact, and I like him on links golf courses. I'm not sure he's ready to go win a major championship just yet. I still think it happens at some point in his career, but I do think he's ready to play some good golf, and I think it can happen on Thursday at 66-1. I will take a chance on Ricky. Thank you to everybody out there for watching this episode of the Gimme presented by BetMGM. Remember, you can check out all our content on Golf Bet this week and every other week. So much great preview stuff out there. For Amanda Rose, for Justin Ray, I'm Jason Sobel. Good luck with all your plays for this week's 149th Open Championship. Here's hoping you hit the green.